Howdy there guys, welcome back to Edgar TV. We're still on the same sofa, we're still wearing the same clothes. There's more of these videos to come. Hit the subscribe because we're discussing all sorts of topics. We have discussed our top 10 players of all time. We've discussed our top 5 players without a PDC tour card of all time. But what about in 2024? Who are the top 5 players this year? Now again, we're in no particular order, so we're not going to try ranking these. But I'm going to kick this off. Daryl Pilgrim. From when we talk about players, first thing we've got to look at is performance and ceiling. Ceiling, he averaged 122. We know he's a ridiculous player in terms of standards. Performance, through the roof. He's averaging 95 on the Pro Tour when he gets the call-ups. He's not converting it to wins yet, but he'll learn how to be a winner very soon. And when he does that, he's got potential to, well, to start with, get the card and get in the top 64, but I think he could challenge the 32.
Yeah, I think he's a top 32 player in the making. He reminds me a lot of Damon Heta. You know, we're looking purely at their ceiling and their performance level or their capability. And he, you know, Damon Heta was the same. He was playing fabulous darts. More often than not, couldn't convert it into wins away from the Pro Tour. Fortunately, he started to do that now with that wonderful match in the UK Open against man of the moment Luke Littler. So it can be done, and it's just a case of making that transition. You know, we've seen it so many times before where we've looked at players who maybe could only be good in certain events or in certain types of events. They've just got to make that transition, but that's not an overnight thing.
No.
There's a lot of pressure on Daryl because there's a lot of expectation. Like this, people like me and you talking about him and highly rating him, and I think it's only a matter of time. He's not, you know, it's not like he's started playing at an older age. He's been around a while, and he's just slowly but surely getting better and better and better. And when you see that slow growth, it tends to lead to someone continuing to grow.
Many times I've spoken to players and they've said about players flying up past them in the rankings and then coming straight back the other way.
Just as quick.
While they stay where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And the best thing to do is be that person who stays there rather than the
consistency wins the day.
11 years on the Pro Tour, and I saw it all the time. Whoosh, whoosh. Players come, then you never see them again.
Yeah,
absolutely. Second person on the list, Andy Bolton.
Yeah, it's again longevity.
Yeah.
I've known Andy way back when he used to be a practice partner. We first spoke about Adrian Lewis in another video a little earlier or later, depending on which one you're watching, in what order. And he used to practice with Ian White, Adrian Lewis up in Stoke.
And I bet he still averaged 90.
He's as reliable as day turns to night. Yeah. He's just rock solid, and that is why he's in that list.
Beau Greaves.
Without question. Without question.
Well, we've seen her at the Super Series. She won a week without losing a single game, averaging 114, 180s. We've done some stats against those.
She's right up there with the top 3 in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And on a consistent basis every year, she's one of the top 32 hitters in the world for 180s. So I think once she develops a little bit more, finds a little bit more self-belief and confidence within herself, because at the moment she doesn't feel she's ready. And if she feels she's ready or she doesn't, she's right.
I can't wait to see how she plays when she feels she's ready.
Yes.
Because if she doesn't feel like she's ready right now, and I totally agree with her. I don't question anything she's done because it's been right. She's doing everything that if I was looking after her, I would suggest to do.
Exactly the same. Say it all the time.
And again, I think that will deliver what we think she can.
It's that what we just said there. She's not going to fly up and come back down.
No.
She's going to go up there. And I think if we're ever going to get a female player win a TV title, she's the one.
Yeah, best female player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The highest ceiling I've ever seen.
There's that conversation again. Best player, but not the greatest player.
No. Trini Gulliver's the greatest lady player we've ever seen so far.
But Beau by far the best.
Yeah.
2 different conversations. That's where this kind of blurs at times.
Yeah, I think it does. I think people get confused when you try to explain it as well. Level of performance is totally different to being, like you say, level of achievement. Yeah. They're 2 different conversations. Yeah, I think I can't see why she won't go on to do even more incredible. I can remember when she was at 13, 14 and hitting 90 odd averages, and they turned into 95s, and then you were hearing stories of her going 14, 15, 12, which is well over a ton.
She was playing County A for Yorkshire, which is a juggernaut of county darts. What was it, 13?
Yeah, 13. And she's made those steady increments of improvement in that period of time. And I love seeing that. That for me is the way to have a long and successful career. And she's not the finished article. She's 20 years of age, does incredibly lacks a bit of confidence. If I was as good as her now, I'd fancy going and getting a card. I'd fancy making a comeback, but I'm nowhere near as good. I think she could beat me with 2 darts.
The next one, I find this hard to really, like when he lost his tour card last year, Danny Jansen, I wouldn't have thought this year I'd be putting him on this list. He has won a Pro Tour though, but he's won a Pro Tour, he's top of the Challenge Tour, and he's 4th on the Development Tour. So how can you not have him on the list on achievement? But I would never have thought 4 months ago that I'd be saying that.
It shows you how tough it is. You know firsthand in recent times more than anybody. It's just super tough, and if you have a bit of a bad run, and again, the fans don't. I always say, well, do you not ever have a bad day in work?
Yeah.
Do you not have any?
Wake up and can't be bothered.
Yeah. Do you not have any? Do you not have days when you go to work where it's just nothing works out? And you don't. We always see them are as players, and we forget that they're people and human beings and have emotions and have things. By the way, I have no insight into what's going on, but I knew what was going on behind the scenes in my private life at times and people were going, oh, he's not playing very well at the minute. Well, most of it's self-inflicted, obviously, but you just don't know. So I don't, I tend to be slightly reserved sometimes, but again, he was a player that did a lot very quickly. Yeah. Came relatively.
Didn't you have to what? First sort of 10 events, wasn't it? You really picked one up. And
I mean, when Bunty did it, it was expected.
Yes.
He was already an established player. When you had the new players making the crossover, like Glenn Durrant getting his card, blah blah blah. You sort of thought, well, listen, we know the quality is there, but with Danny that wasn't the case. And I think for him it all happened too quickly. But the fact that he didn't hang around and fester, he had to go back and regroup. I think the proof's in the pudding. I think that step back's going to be 10 steps forward.
Yeah, this is his year. It's almost like the first tour card. It was just the practice years, and this is part of that.
The
next
test.
One. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. 'Cause he's going to get it back.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah, for
sure. Too many opportunities. The last one, I'm looking overseas. I'm torn between Leonard Gates and Jeff Smith.
Lucky Leonard.
But won many seniors tours as well.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But you also fancy Alex Spellman for that position.
Yeah, I like Alex Spellman. I think he's another one. He's a part-time player. I'm not going to use the word you love, semi-pro. He's a part-time player. He's got a very, very good job, which must also be mentally taxing and quite draining.
But driven to be a professional as well. Yeah,
and he's one of those perfect examples of give them a platform, they will play.
Yes.
Another player with a wonderfully high ceiling, great technique. Super impressed with Spellman. Love Leonard. I love Leonard's story. He's another one that he didn't really follow darts like seriously. I mean, we watched the CDC, and I've been watching darts in America for where and when I can for years. And he's this rare. When people go, oh, seniors won't work, you've got to have established players. Well, no one really knew who Leonard was, but his personality has given him a fan base now, very similar to Richie Howson. Richie Howson sells more tickets at the Tavern than Phil Taylor, and that's why the seniors are work. But that may be another video for another time when we will have different clothes on.
We'll get changed.
We'll get changed to that one. Put our scruffs on for that one. But yeah, for me, Leonard Gates or Alex Spellman, the two players that I'd certainly put in my top 5 that I've seen up close. well, one of them played, unfortunately.
For me, I chuck Jeff Smith in there as well.
Yeah.
From talk of, I would have won the North American last year, World Championship runner-up on the Lakeside side. You know,
And when we talk
finisher.
about things going wrong away from the hockey,
Yeah.
he's had an absolute torrid time the last few years. You know, with his business and the fire and everything else. So, yeah, got a feel for Jeff, but I'm with you. Another wonderful player from that part of the world, and one I hope who manages to get it right and get back.
So that is the top 5 players in 2024 who do not have a tour card this year. Let us know your suggestions down in the box and tell us why. Let us know why you think that person is the best player without a tour card this year, and we'll catch you soon for another episode where we'll probably be dressed exactly the same.